Madison Carter always thought success meant money. For most of her 20s, she chased numbers, numbers in her bank account, numbers on her social media following, and numbers in her performance reviews. She lived in a small apartment in downtown Seattle, worked as a financial analyst, and told herself that once she crossed a certain income level, happiness would naturally follow. But life had other plans. It started on a rainy Monday morning when Madison's manager, Gregory Hale, called her into his glass-walled office. His tone was calm, but the words landed like heavy stones. "Madison, the company's restructuring. We're letting a few people go. Your position's been absorbed." Madison sat still, blinking, the sound of rain echoing against the windows. "I've been here 6 years," she whispered. "I know," Gregory said gently. "You've been one of our best." But this wasn't personal. By noon, Madison walked out of the building with a box of her belongings, her favorite coffee mug, a framed quote that read, "Work hard. Stay humble," and a small cactus she'd somehow kept alive for years. That night, she sat in her kitchen staring at her reflection in the dark window. The city lights blurred behind her, and for the first time, the silence felt louder than ever. A new chapter begins. After days of job searching and endless rejection emails, Madison stumbled upon an online post titled, "If you want to be wealthy and happy, start by helping others." It was from a community blog run by an older man named Walter Dean, a retired schoolteacher who wrote about life lessons and simple living. Madison read the post out of boredom, but the message caught her off guard. "Greater than, wealth is not measured by what you keep," it said, "but by what you give and how peacefully you sleep at night." For someone who had lived by spreadsheets and performance targets, that line unsettled her. But it also awakened something. Madison reached out to Walter through email, thanking him for the article. To her surprise, he replied the next day. "Greater than, I'm glad it resonated. If you ever want to talk, I hold a small workshop at the community center on Sundays. It's free. You're welcome to come." That Sunday, Madison found herself in a modest hall filled with folding chairs and a whiteboard that read, "Finding Purpose Beyond Paychecks." Walter, in his 70s, had kind eyes and a calm voice that carried the wisdom of a man who'd lived simply but fully. During the session, he asked everyone to write down what they valued most in life. Madison wrote, "Success." Walter walked by, glanced at her paper, and smiled. "What does success look like to you?" She paused. "Freedom, I think. Security." He nodded. "And do you feel free?" Madison's silence was her answer. The coffee shop moment. After the workshop, Madison wandered into a local cafe across the street. It was quiet, just the sound of steaming milk and soft jazz in the background. She ordered black coffee and sat near the window. An older woman approached, smiling. "I think you were at Walter's class," she said. "I'm Naomi." They talked for an hour. Naomi told her how she once worked in corporate marketing until burnout pushed her to quit. Now, she ran a small baking business from home, nothing fancy, but it paid her bills and gave her joy. Naomi said something that stuck with Madison. "Greater than, you can chase money, but happiness will always be one step ahead if your heart's in the wrong race." That night, Madison couldn't sleep. Her mind played back the faces she'd met, Walter, Naomi, and the quiet people at the workshop who seemed so content. She wondered when she last felt that. The turning point. By winter, Madison had started volunteering at a youth entrepreneurship program, mentoring high school students on basic finance. She did it for free at first, just to stay busy. But something unexpected happened. She loved it. The energy of the students reminded her of what passion looked like before money complicated it. One day, after class, a student named Leo approached her. "Miss Carter, I want to start a t-shirt business, but I don't know how to handle money. You make it sound so easy. Madison smiled. It's not easy, but it's simple. You just have to respect it, and never let it own you. That night, she realized she'd found something that filled her in a way her old job never had. Wealth redefined. Months passed. Madison started her own small business, a financial coaching company for young entrepreneurs and small businesses. It wasn't glamorous, but it was meaningful. Her first client was Naomi's Bakery. Together, they streamlined her operations, helped her grow sales, and within a year, Naomi hired 2 employees. Word spread, and soon Madison was booked months in advance. She didn't earn what she used to at first, but she felt rich in a new way. Walter's words echoed in her mind every time she balanced her books. Greater than real wealth is peace of mind. A visit from Walter. One spring afternoon, Walter visited her small office, a cozy room above a bookstore. He smiled when he saw the framed quote on her desk, "If you want to be wealthy and happy." She stood and hugged him. "You changed my life," she said. "No," Walter replied. "You just stopped chasing the wrong things." They talked for hours, and when he left, Madison felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude, not for money, but for meaning. The letter. A few months later, Walter passed away peacefully in his sleep. Madison attended his memorial, which was filled with people whose lives he touched. At the end of the service, the host handed Madison an envelope. Inside was a handwritten note. Greater than Madison. If you want to be wealthy, give. If you want to be happy, forgive. The rest will follow. Walter. Tears blurred her eyes. That day, she decided to start a foundation in his name, the Dean Project, offering free financial education to underprivileged youth. It became her life's mission. Years later, 10 years later, Madison stood on stage at a community event as the keynote speaker. Behind her was a banner that read, "Building Wealth the Right Way." She looked out at the crowd and said, "Greater than, I used to think wealth meant money. But I've learned that real wealth is time, purpose, and peace. If you want to be wealthy and happy, start with kindness, not a paycheck." Applause filled the hall. Somewhere deep inside, she knew Walter was smiling. Madison Carter wasn't just financially free, she was finally, truly happy.